Sorry. I'm a bit late. Oh, goodness. Right. My apologies. Right. Janine's on her way. In fact, we were both on our way. We just didn't know which one would manage to get here first. And I won. I'm so sorry for being late. We've both been out. I just need to find this. Oh, good grief. This is it. Oh, good grief. Okay. Oh, good golly. So, I have it's Thursday. Yeah, indeedy. It's been a busy day, and I did not pass go and pick up the mail. I'm so sorry. It was just a case of trying to get back here as quickly as possible. So I've just come back from, I took Boom to a phenomenal animal trainer, and he was having an assessment to see whether or not he was suitable to go into her program. And he is, we just need to make sure that we've got his vaccine documentation out and up to date, and then he will be going into this program to work on his recall and his reliability off leash. So it's something that we just physically do not have the time to do, in all honesty. It's extremely busy. There's so much going on. We've got ourselves really totally and utterly chasing our tails, basically. So this phenomenal dog trainer who works with my Annie is going to take him in. He's only going for a week, and we are expecting great things because he really truly is an absolutely phenomenal dog. Training a puppy is one thing. Training a full-grown Great Dane is an absolute eye-opener. Did you find all these? Need to be cleaned. Really? No, actually the whole car needs to be cleaned because we've slobbered on it. Not me personally. Just so you know. I beat you, by the way. I won. I know. There was a complaint. Someone wrote a complaint about the goats. What's wrong with my goats? The goats, the horn goats up at your house. They think that I don't know. They feel like we're not doing enough with them. Can you explain to people how goats really are? Because they think that they should have more people interaction, but they don't understand that it's a herd of goats. It's a herd of goats. Okay, so and they're also horn goats, and they will butt you if you have so these goats. No. They have interaction in the morning and they have interaction at night time. Yeah, they don't really. They're not single individual goats. They don't think like people. They are not lonely for people. They get lonely for food. Yes, that's really all they care about. They do love their food, and the way that these goats came into us is this is a thermometer. Is that we took them in as rescues because they were very much a problem herd, and they were a problem herd because they were headbutting the living daylights out of the family that they lived with. I'm going to keep doing that. Okay, you can say, I'll explain about the goats. So, very often people have herds of goats because they use them for milking, they use them for their hair coat. They are not pets. And from that point of view, we do not keep herd animals as individuals in a pet situation. So while we maintain their care and their quality of life, they are not kept as, we don't take them out for a walk. they're farm animals. I would suggest that they probably get far more interaction than a lot of farm animals have. I'm out with the chickens in there because I'm training another batch to go into nursing homes. So I see the goats every morning. I see the goats every evening, and Nick also goes in to see the goats. So I would say that they probably have far more interaction with people than the majority of goats that live in a farm situation. These are not pets. They didn't come into us as pets. They came into us as pretty feral, badly behaved goats, and that's just the way it is. So animal control come out. They're more than happy with the way that we maintain our animals. You know, not just the goats, but all of the animals, and they're pretty well provided for, I would suggest. The difference between the horned goats and the goats that we have down here is they were bottle-fed babies. And since they're bottle-fed babies, they have been used to being dependent upon us for their every whim and need. They also get actually far more attention than a lot of people's goats that, you know, I am unsure what people are actually expecting in the way of goat care, but I definitely, in my opinion, they're very well looked after and maintained. But maybe somebody else has got some super ideas and suggestions. They also have a massive paddock. They climb on the down trees. They forage for food, and you know, they've got a pretty interesting life when it suits them. I'm really at a loss, I'm afraid to say. Always open to suggestions though, but yeah, it's a tricky one. It's a really tricky one. So back to the situation to today. We were putting the two horses for going down south because they're going down to sort of like tropical weather in comparison to what we have here in Massachusetts. So they need to be clipped because they have their winter coats on, and they would be far too hot down in Aiken. So they're going down tomorrow, and the two chickens are going down tomorrow. And the chicken house that we ordinarily have outside the tea tent, it is on the trailer to go down because that's where the chickens will live. Because as I'm sure you're aware that when we have chickens that go into the nursing homes, we keep them under cover so that they're totally and utterly separate from the wild birds. And that's just a precaution against bird flu and any other infections that could possibly be transmitted from wild birds to our domesticated technically what they call the clean flock. So the chicken house that David said to us is going to be utilised in their care. It will not only keep them safe, but it will also keep them separate from the wild birds, and that's important when they're in part of the programme. That's why they live in the big white chicken house here with the attached run that has the roof on it. So there's method to our madness somewhere. So we went and picked up the barn doors that were donated to us this morning. They were a heck of a lot heavier than we were expecting. Oh boy, they were much heavier. So Janine and I tootled along with the trailer, reversed the trailer. Well, Janine expertly reversed the trailer, not only down a very narrow driveway and going backwards obviously, but also on the ice and snow. And so that was super fun. But we did have Wanda to keep us right, so that was good. And we got there and we were like, now watch us lift these doors onto the trailer, and went, actually, these are not quite as light as they were yesterday. So it took 4 of us to get them loaded onto the trailer. So we now have two doors on the trailer. And now we've got to work out how to get them back out and where we're going to store them. So that was a busy morning. And then we had a town representative who comes to, it's like your tax assessor. They come and they have a look around the farm to see how it's being utilised and the fact that it is actually a farm. And so that was around about just after lunchtime. And then we were back on Meredith, and dealing with the clipping. I was holding the horse and Michelle was doing the clipping, which is probably a good thing. And I will say, Janine's level of clipping, it looks like it was done with a very shaky hand. So Michelle comes in to straighten everything out and get everybody looking smart. So that's super. So they're ready to travel. And then I took Boom for his assessment. So we're just waiting to get his vaccines, his certificate in place. And then we will pop him in there for a week for training. So that is super. And we're all just firing ahead, even though it's rather chilly. It has been much, much warmer today, if you can consider sort of like 34 degrees warm. And it has resulted in the air quality being rather cloudy because the ice is melting and it's vaporizing. So it's like we've got a mist, and that's also why we think the smoke alarm goes off, because the water vapor triggers the smoke alarm to tell us that we've got a problem. And I just come down and check it, so thank you very much, Marcia, for letting me know. And it's I reset it, and then I did hear it from the house when it went back off again. It has decided to stop right now, which is good. So that's us. We're all in good shape. And I have here the new what do we call this? Thermometer. And it's super. I did take it in and I opened it with Carlene because it had Carlene's name on it. But we think it was probably for Goldy, unless somebody's going to tell me otherwise. Now, I'm trying to remember who said this, because it doesn't say on the slip. But this is it here, and I'm wondering if it was intended to be outside somewhere. So if you could let me know where you're hoping for us to pop it up, that would be very helpful. All right, I'm going to do the questions without my glasses, which is always awful. Rightio. Oh, so early afternoon, that was probably the town assessor who was here, I think, Jeannie. No, Boom will be trained off-site. It will be board and train. And this is the same place that I sent Annie, so I have the greatest confidence in this lady. You know, actually, I've been on a lot of farms over my lifetime, and I will tell you, I don't think I've ever been on a goat farm where the goats have the space that they have to lie down and relax, the in and out, and also a blinking heater. So that place sits at a beautiful ambient temperature, and in fact, I have been known to go in there to warm myself up. So, I'm very confident that they're exceptionally well looked after, and they're a herd. It's like animals with like animals. We really try very hard not to have individual animals because they really need the support and companionship of the same type of animals. So they are a little herd. You'll see them. They run around as a little herd. The one that I'm most concerned about is actually the father, who is Henry, and Henry is very domineering with his offspring, and you know he's slightly problematic, but they've got their hierarchy. It works for them. It's how they came in to us, and I don't think it's something that we need to intervene with. So there we have it. We have actually had those. I don't know if you remember, but those horned goats, they actually took part um, in the first donkey derby we had on the farm here, and yeah, they were horrific because Mabel just loves standing on her rear legs and headbutting people. But we gave them to Colby and his friends, and yeah, so that was really very interesting. But you know, the interaction with people on a daily basis. Michelle, she gives them treats. I feed them in the morning. Nipper, I feed them at night time. So I really, honestly, I'm not sure what much more we could do other than take them in the house. And I am not having goats in the house because I draw the line. Wanda will be going down to Aiken, yes. I think the thing is, you know, opinions are just those, you know. It's a very difficult thing. You'll never please everybody, because everybody's got a different opinion, a different understanding of, you know, our personal situation on the farm. And I think ultimately what we're driven by is animal welfare and enabling the animals to live the most comfortable life. And I do, you know, strongly believe that that is the case. There is also, and it's difficult, some people create scenarios for the animals where they're dealt with like children. They are not children. They are, well, the goats were kind of feral when they came in. And, you know, they are animals. They are treated respectfully. They're treated with care. They are fed appropriately. And they are handled by the vet when needed. And, you know, that's the best possible scenario for all animals. And, you know, I think it is important to remember that other people have different views and different expectations. But this is the most natural state for the goats in particular. And, you know, you do your very best. It's not to say that we're perfect, because nobody is. It's not to say that, you know, somebody wouldn't do this differently, but, you know, we're doing what we believe to be best for the animals. And, you know, and I do think, you know, the animal control are happy with us, the vet's happy with us, and, you know, I suppose these are people who are more expert in that field. So the animals that are going to Aiken, we have two touch harness horses, Chester and Sunshine. They're both going. And then the two chickens, they're bantam chickens, the small chickens, the ones that go out to the outreach jobs, they're going. I have another couple of chickens that I am hoping are going to work out very nicely for outreach jobs. They're currently living in Hotel Janine in my sunroom, and I'm handling them on a daily basis and just making sure that they get the amount of input to be friendly and reliable. I have one that still is pecking the living daylights out of me, but hey, we're getting there. They are also bantams, and I have the most beautiful trio. I'll try to get a picture of them, of really tiny bantams, but they're very flighty, and they really like to take off, so I'm not sure that they would work, but we shall see. The courtyard camera. Oh, right, that's where you'd like it. Okay, I'm sure we can try and get that up. Well, yes and no. The problem with the White House is that there's no camera in the White House, and there will not be a camera put up in there. The other issue we have is that the phones, I don't know what happens in there, but it really messes with the phones, and we don't seem to be able to hold a signal. I don't know what it is. I'm hoping that Caroline will maybe come over, or I'll probably have to go and video her. So, there. I don't know. So, that's exactly right, Joe. I don't know why the reception is so awful. I am sure Caroline built something with metal in the walls, and it rejects phone signal. I keep asking her, what did you build this with? And she's like, nothing unusual. And I'm like, right. It's the most bizarre thing. And I don't know if anybody remembers when we used to do mail chat on Facebook in there. It was awful. It was either upside or roundabout or circling in doom. We'll give up. No. So the reason it doesn't cut out on here is because we have a different internet signal over here. So that's why the cameras are still up and running, because the cameras are all on a specific system. Mind you, don't take that from me, because I'm not really sure about any of the systems. Oh, the names of the animals going to Aiken are Chester and Sunshine and the two white chickens. Now, for the life of me, we had really lovely names that a lady on one of the outreach jobs gave us, and we cannot for the life of us remember. So we're still racking our brains for that. Yeah, that's actually white. To get a signal, because even that had to go forwards and backwards in the car until we found just the right spot. Yeah, and the problem with that is, I think it's still dropped, and there's just no consistency to it. And you'll notice that we have problems with phone calls down here. Sometimes you get reception in the arena, sometimes you don't. I don't understand it. It is beyond my pay grade, very definitely. I don't think it makes the slightest bit of difference to. You're right, Joe. It doesn't make the slightest bit of difference to people complaining about how we treat our goats. But I think it is important. I think one of the things that we do is we spend so much time accommodating the animals and balancing paddocks to make sure everybody is as happy as can be. So we'd just like to reassure people who are not turning around and saying those goats. You've got to remember, animals want to be around animals. That's what I was explaining. Yeah. They're herd animals. That's why there's 4 of them. I mean, they like people, but they're not like, well, you're right. But they tolerate people. But animals in general would rather be around other animals. And people personify their needs. And they feel like they feel like picking up and go, because I do this all the time. I'm like, they look lonely, but they just want me to go in there and feed them. They don't want to hang out. Yeah. But they do have I went up there today with that woman today, the tax assessor, and they have a swanky setup up there. I know they have. Yeah. They've got a very nice setup up there. Yeah. And I was explaining to people, I actually have to go in and converse with them in the morning. Yeah. And sometimes I go and warm my hands. I think they have a better setup than any other goats I've seen. Because I've gone down to that New Holland auction. Yeah. And been there on Goat Day when they have the auctioning off of goats for meat. Yeah. And it is probably 4 times, no more than that, 4, 5, 6 times the size of the arena here. Wall to wall. I've never seen so many goats. Wall to wall goats. I know. And just, they can't even move goats. I think the funny thing is, our goats, you may have noticed, that when you call them, they come running. Because they know fine well they're either going to get fed or there's something incoming that they want to interact with.
Did you tell them what we did the other night at Michelle's?
What did we do? Oh, yeah, this is really funny.
Michelle, every time that she leaves, she when she unlocks her Jeep, it makes that click noise that when you unlock the car. And then she goes out to go to work in the morning. She always gives all the goats a cookie. So we're sitting there, and her brother was there, and his wife were there. And we're talking about the cameras and how you can see all the cameras. And she said, and then here's the goat camera. Watch. And all the goats, you couldn't see a single goat because they were all nestled in their little house for the night with their heated house for the night. So she hits the thing to open her car, the little fob on her, and she's in the cabin. We're in the cabin watching the goat camera.
It's just a click.
It's just a click. And wouldn't you know, and there's a little bit of a delay because the cameras have a delay, and all four of the goats come running down, and then they're standing there like, wah, wah, and we're sitting there like, all right, we're guilty. Like, somebody had to go outside in the cold and go feed them.
Because what they know is that when Michelle opens our car, that before she gets in the car, she gives them each a cookie.
Yeah.
So totally Pavlovian.
Yeah. But it was really funny.
Yeah. And they come barreling right, and they must hear that click. And it's just a car.
It's just a little tiny. Yeah. So okay, well, I'm on a mission now. I've got to go pick up some. I'm going to go to CVS, pick up some meds for Carlene, and then I need to go to Meredith to hook up the trailer, and then I'll need pickup. Are you going to Meredith?
Yep.
Okay,
I'll grab you.
All right.
Well, then you'll pick us up.
Oh, you don't have to pick me up.
No, well, I can't pick you up.
I didn't know if you're still going.
Yeah, because I'm not sure whether or not did Nick turn up and do hay bags or anything.
I just left there.
All right, that's fine.
It took us hours to get Chester. I swear to God, I kept saying like, I'm not riding in the Olympics because she clips for the Olympic rider. It is the best clipping job ever. I know. I mean, and Chester's hard to clip.
Yeah.
And she just wouldn't let it go. Like, he looks so good. I think I'm ready for the Olympics.
Wow. Have you asked Chester if he is ready for the Olympics?
Yeah.
He's like, what, the Winter Olympics?
No, but it took much longer because, how long did it take me to do it last night?
I know. We were there till about, 9 o'clock?
No, 8 o'clock.
Was it 8 o'clock?
It was the worst. It was really the worst clipping job ever. That's why Michelle had to come out and clean it up for me. And it took her like 4 hours.
Yes.
Took me 1 hour.
So when you were there, first of all, she looked at Sunshine, who wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
Then she took the blanket off. Then she took the blanket off Chester and went, right.
Yeah. No. Okay, so I will. I'll text you. I just want to hook up the trailer and bring the truck and trailer up, have it parked there. So I just need to feel like I'm organized.
Organized is so overrated.
Okay, I'll text you. Yeah.
Hey, give me traveling time.
Okay. All right.
Just in case.
Okay.
Right. I'll see you later.
I'll do everyone down here when I get back.
Okay.
Okay.
No worries. I know. I honestly, I am not a very good technology person, but I don't understand why we've got such. We have boosted the signals. We have tried absolutely everything. We've brought in Starlink, which actually wasn't very successful for us. We have tried absolutely everything for phone reception here, and it just doesn't play the game. I've had Nick on it. We've had Brittany on it. We've had so many people just trying to help. I think we're in a heavily wooded area. We're down in a hollow, and I think the satellites just don't play with us. I don't know what it is. It's difficult. And the one thing you cannot do down in this barn is have a phone conversation and expect it to hold, because it drops. It's frustrating. And the problem we have is when we start the Facebook Live, if you don't get as long as a minute, you can't get it restarted. I'm thinking back to when we used to do Facebook Live, and then when it goes onto the Circle of Doom, you've got all these problems with restarting it because you have to close the first one off and then start all over again, and then you lose all of your questions. It's an absolute pain. So I think we'll come up with something, but using it in the house is not it, unfortunately. Flower is going to Aiken, but she is going on the 15th. She will be travelling down with Angus. Yeah, she'll be fine with the horses by herself. Yes, she will be doing outreach jobs down in Aiken, and I am hoping up here that there we'll just maintain our regular jobs at the moment because we're on a sort of winter program, because technically there's only me. Judy's away for 6 weeks. Carlina has not been going on the jobs, and I have both barns, so it's a smattering, shall we say. But I am hoping that Carol, she comes out very reliably to help, which is super. I'm hoping Sharon and one of her daughters will potentially be coming along. And I have Kate's mother, who's called Susan. She may come and help if she has time. And there's somebody else I was trying to rope into this. I cannot remember, because I prefer going out, because I don't do this all the time, I prefer going out with more than just me, because I think that's safest. So there. I am not sure. I don't think they did that. I think they postponed that till the following week while I was at the Goldy South job. Yes, I'm staying behind when Janine leaves tomorrow. Yeah, she will be taking the very large trailer. The smaller trailer will be left behind. The reason we leave one trailer here is because if you ever have an emergency and you have to trailer somebody off, you need to have a trailer. And so that trailer will be here. Oh, a haircut, Carol. I need a haircut. I just got time to go and do it yet, though. Is it icy at Meredith? It is indeed. It is super icy. And in fact, when Janine was doing the sand on the surface here, we were putting down ice melt on Meredith. And the reason we were putting down ice melt was to get a little path made for the horses to come out of the barn, because we had 5 horses in the barn in total, and 2 of them needed to go back into the paddock. And there was a path made from the barn to the first patch of grass. Then we can walk them over the grass, and they've got a far better grip on that. And then there was another part of tarmac, and patch of tarmac. So we put ice melt on that for a little channel, and then I had to do another one until we get them to the paddock. So it was quite something. But it's New England in the winter. Everybody has exactly the same problems with ice, and just the way it is. And I do keep reminding myself that when it is super hot and I am dying of heat exhaustion, I think, oh, I wish it was winter. And then when I get here and I can no longer feel my fingers and toes, I think, oh, this is better than summer though. So just have to keep perspective. So there we are. We will be back I don't know, we'll be back at some point. How many animals are on Meredith? I shall tell you. We have Ted, the draft mule, who you all saw here. We have Enzo Ferrari, who is my mini mule, and he looks like a mini Ted. He's exactly the same colouring, he's just in miniature. And then we have 10 sheep and a stud donkey in the sheep barn paddock. On the left-hand sheep paddock, we have Boone, who is a paint cross, and Penny, who is a Tennessee Walker horse. But 2 horses in the paddock across from the sheep. Then we have, in the outside paddock, we have 2 alpacas, and we have Harley, our beautiful mini donkey. We have Hedwig, our other mini donkey, and we have Wilbur, our mini horse, and Peanut, our other mini horse. Flower is in that paddock at the moment until she leaves on the 15th. And then we have Janine's 2 horses, and then we have, what else do we have? That's it for the moment. And we're deliberately trying to keep our numbers low because Equine Rescue Network has moved up to Wisconsin and is under a different board. So Janine and I left Equine Rescue Network in December of this year. So it has transferred and will be carried on by Deb up in Wisconsin, who's always been part of the network. So that is fantastic, which allows us to focus fully on Goldy's farm and the outreach program and maintaining the animals that we have under our care and sanctuary. So that's how we're operating that. So while it is winter, we will not be doing any extra quarantining for other people. We probably won't be bringing anything else in. And I don't know why I bother saying that, because as soon as I utter those words, we'll be quarantining and we'll be bringing in rescue. It's but the intention is not to, and it's because the paddocks are under stress at the moment. They're icy, and it's just a more difficult time to manage animals. So that's it. Janine, I think, is going to leave around about 9 tomorrow. How long is Janine doing this at Aiken? Janine will probably do the outreach program in Aiken until she comes back in April. And we are hoping that there's a lady down there who will potentially Janine's going to train her on the outreach program, animals and routines, and we're kind of hoping that she will maybe maintain that program and allow it to move on. So that would be fantastic. That's quite interesting. You know, we can find out so much about people's health, etc., and what they've been eating through changes in hair. I'm just going to do the feeding at the farm myself. Nick will probably help me with the evening feedings on Meredith, and there's just an absolutely phenomenal volunteer group on Meredith Farm. We have Kate, and Kate and I are both there 7 days a week, and she and I work together very nicely. And we have Pam, who is there 3 days a week. We have Coral, and we have Cindy. Coral's there, I think, on a Friday. Cindy's there very often 3 days a week. We have Emily, who comes to help on a Sunday, and
I do evenings over there, and I try and get there during the day as well to help with the farrier and with animal welfare and things like that. And we have been so fortunate. We've been together for a good number of years now. It's a very happy group. It's very positive, and we are so fortunate to be on that farm because it provides these animals with the most absolutely delightful living conditions. So we are very grateful for our time on there. Now, yes, but Janine will have the opportunity to come back and forward for things, and should Carleen have any issues, she would be able to come up for Carleen as well, because there are people who would be able to hold on to Wanda and our horses. So we've got that all covered. And there are no baby bunnies yet, so please, no, not yet. I need a little bit of time to do some more reading up about this. And also, I think I might have found somebody who's a bit of a bunny expert, so I'm going to go and chase her down for information and help. Okay, there we go. Tomorrow is Friday, I think. I am still completely confuddled with these. It's a pain. We shall get there. So, I'm away off to go and eat something, and then I'm away off to Meredith. And I'll see you all later. And thank you for your patience. Sometimes when you expect to be back here for 5, it just doesn't happen that way, and the roads were extremely icy. So, there we go. Right, so I shall see you all later. Oh, dear. That